What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be ranking my top 5 NFL contenders going into week 18 of the NFL season, which is the last week of the NFL season. And in number 5, we have the Miami Dolphins. Now, this may seem high for a team that just got beat 56-19 by the Baltimore Ravens, but Baltimore's kind of been doing this to everybody. They even beat San Francisco last week really bad. And I think that Miami is a solid football team, and they have a chance to lock up second place in the AFC next week. And if they can't beat Buffalo, they will drop down to the 5 seed and out of the divisional lead. But I think they can pull it off and win that game and be the number 2 seed in the AFC, which would mean that they would have home field advantage until the AFC Championship game. And I do think that this is a very solid football team. On paper, they can beat anybody in the league, but they just haven't been able to finish games and beat quality teams so far this season. But I do think that they have the talent, which is why they're keeping up at number 5. And if they can beat Buffalo next week in a big statement win to steal the division, I do think that this team will rise, and I think that they need that game to take momentum into the wild card round of the playoffs. At number 4, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is honestly a very confusing team for me because they could easily be at 9 or they could be at 2 based on their past history. They're definitely contenders, and with Patrick Mahomes, you can't really count a team out. But they have not looked like the same Chiefs as we've seen in the past. Even again, in their win this week against Cincinnati, they were down 17-7 at one point, and if Cincinnati's offense hadn't made a couple crucial mistakes, they would have easily lost this game and gone to 9-7. And this offense just hasn't been the same. They lead the league in drops and drop percentage, and Travis Kelce's averaging the lowest yards per catch of his career and one of the lower yards seasons in the last 5 or 6 years for him. Patrick Mahomes has the most interceptions of his career by a bit now, and he just doesn't look like the same magician that he's looked like in the past. With that being said, this is still the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have a championship pedigree, which is why I'm putting them this high. Patrick Mahomes has been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them, and Travis Kelce is still his running mate, and I will never count them out, and that is the only reason why I'm putting them at 4. They could easily be at the number 8 or 9 spot, and there's a number of teams that I would definitely pick over them. But just due to their championship pedigree, I have to give them the respect and put them this high. At number 3, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are in this spot purely because of the flashes of greatness that I've seen from them this season, and not because of the loss that they just suffered to the Arizona Cardinals 35-31 in week 17, which put them to the number 5 seed and out of first place in the NFC East. But I still do trust them more going into the playoffs than the Dallas Cowboys, and I would say that they are still the second best team in the NFC, only behind the San Francisco 49ers. And Dallas is still a team that I don't trust in that division, and I think that next week Philadelphia could easily take back first place in the NFC East, and if they do, they will have home field advantage until the NFC Championship game, and I still do believe that they will easily make the NFC Championship game, and it will be a great game between them and San Francisco in that game if they both make it there. And Jalen Hurts has shown a lot of resilience this year, playing injured, and A.J. Brown has proven to be a top 3 receiver in the NFL, if not the best wide receiver by far in the NFL. And I just trust them in so many different aspects of the game, in the rushing attack, passing game, offensive line, defensively, coaching. I just trust them in every aspect of the game, and I do think that they will make a deep playoff run this year, whether they are the 5 seed or the 2 seed, depending on how next week goes. At number 2, we have the San Francisco 49ers, and I do believe that they are the most complete team in the NFC and a top 2 team in the NFL, obviously. They have so much offensive versatility with Christian McCaffrey in the backfield as easily the best running back in the NFL, and he can catch passes out of the backfield as possibly the best receiving back in the NFL. You have 2 very good receivers in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, and Brandon Ayuk has come a long way this year in his development. And then you have George Kittle, who's one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL and one of the best overall tight ends in the league as well. And Brock Purdy is so much more than a game manager in my eyes. And while he is a little bit limited sometimes in the throws he can make, he is elite at what he can do well, and that's reading the field and making the right throw at the right time. And he has a lot more arm strength than people give him credit for. So, in all honesty, I do think that this team will cruise through the NFC, and the only team that I would worry about if I was them was the Philadelphia Eagles, but I do believe that they will win that matchup if it comes down to it in the NFC Championship game. In the number one spot, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who have absolutely dismantled their past two opponents, who are both on this list in the San Francisco 49ers and Miami Dolphins. They beat Miami 56-19 and San Francisco 33-19, holding two elite offenses both under 20 points and putting up over 30 points, and in this case against Miami, 56 points against solid defenses as well. Both teams are on this list and are top 5 teams in the NFL, but the Ravens made them look like last place bottom feeder teams in the NFL. Their offense looks unstoppable with Lamar Jackson making incredible throws and making plays with his legs, and he's proven to be the MVP frontrunner this season, and so much more than just a runner and a scrambling quarterback, which has been the narrative around him for so long, and way too long in my opinion. He has been so good this season, and their defense has been even better. Against the 49ers, they forced 4 interceptions against Brock Purdy and then a 5th against Sam Darnold, and have absolutely shut down their last 3 opponents. In their last 3 games, they've only given up 45 points against 3 solid offenses in Jacksonville, San Francisco, and Miami, and this team is on a roll right now. They've clinched home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs and probably the best record in the entire NFL. This is by far the most complete team in the NFL for me, and having a kicker in Justin Tucker that is by far the best kicker in the NFL may not seem as important to some, but going into the playoffs where every point matters, the special teams aspect of the game comes down so much more to the outcome of a game, and having the best kicker in the NFL is going to make a big difference. So they have the most well-rounded team in the NFL going through special teams, offense, and defense, and I have them as my Super Bowl prediction. Let me know what you would change about this list, and God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by April. Happy 2024, and I hope you have an amazing year this year.